There are several viewers of this channel who are big proponents of electric chainsaws. I have resisted electric because I know they are not yet to a point where they can compete with the production I get out of my pro saws, my gas-powered saws. But they have brought up some compelling arguments. One of the major ones around here, when we get into the height of wildfire season, the Department of Forestry starts restricting the use of gas-powered saws. In that case, having an electric chainsaw could be the difference between having to shut down for a part of the summer and being able to still work. Another advantage they bring up, an electric chainsaw is not going to be blowing exhaust fumes in your face that you have to be breathing all day. You don't have to buy fuel or haul it around. You can make your own fuel with solar panels, along with a few other advantages. Even with those advantages, I continue using the gas saws for the increased production and the ability to run a longer bar. I like running the long bars. One of those viewers decided to put his money where his keyboard fingers are, and he bought me an electric chainsaw. This Husky 350i. He has a channel, DLWoregon. He has some videos about using electric chainsaws, electric power tools, and other outdoor videos. We're going to try this out today and see how it performs, see if it has a place within what I'm doing. Well, when I got it, one of the first things I looked at, I was a little disappointed to see this flip top on the oil cap. I was thinking, oh no, Husky's decided to go with these goofy fuel and oil caps that Steel uses. One of the few things I don't like about the Steel saws is these goofy fuel and oil caps. But on a closer look, that's just a handle for a regular threaded cap. So that's nice. It's a really lightweight saw, 18-inch bar. Although when you put the battery in, that adds quite a bit of weight. Let's put it to work, see how it works. We'll start out small. I got a couple junky Douglas fir trees here. We'll cut those away from the bigger, better trees. So the limited resources here will go to the better, healthier trees. This is the first time I've used it. First time I've actually used a real electric chainsaw other than that little 8-inch one. Actually, I take that back. I did use my dad's Makita saw a time or two, just briefly though. Turn on the power button, and I guess we just go. I wonder if this is the first Humboldt undercut ever made with an electric chainsaw. Probably not, but I like to think it is. Got a good high stump on it. We like our high stumps out here. One of the nice things is, in between cuts, the saw's not making noise. Being used to faster cutting saws, I left a little more hinge than I would for a tree this size, but it went where it was supposed to. That worked quite well. One thing I learned with an electric saw, same as with the gas saw, if you move the camera, then forget to turn the camera back on, you're not going to get footage of what you just did. Same with the gas saw. Although I haven't confirmed that yet. Once I edit, I will confirm that. I don't think this chain is taking everything this saw head can put out. I'm going to knock these rakers down a little bit more. Let's see if that makes a difference. One of the commonly stated benefits of electric saws is they are quieter compared to gas saws. I've been using earplugs. With earplugs, this thing is very quiet. No, I'm not putting my bar in the dirt. Well, I'm going to just try it for a moment without earplugs to see how quiet it is. I think you could probably get away without using earplugs. That is really quiet compared to some other ones I've heard. I'm going to continue wearing ear protection because I really value my hearing, which I think is pretty good for my age, considering all the equipment I've been around, but I always wear ear protection when I'm around equipment. People think I don't because I don't have earmuffs on, but I always wear earplugs. I know there's a big YouTube channel that did a test with a steel saw with a decibel meter, and I think the steel saw was about the same as the gas saw. I think there could have been a little flaw in that experiment though. This is definitely quieter than the gas saw. I think I said steel saw before when I should have said gas saw. I've been a little bit turned off by electric chainsaws because I don't like the sound of most of them. I think they sound like they are self-destructing when they're running. But this one has a much better sound to it. Something is after me. Just found a tick crawling on me. People sometimes ask me, what do I do about ticks? Well, I very rarely find ticks here. I maybe find one or two crawling on me per year. Here is number one, and I put them on my thumbnail. Then with a fingernail, I smashed them. Took care of him, her, or whoever. It, they. But I've learned the feel of a tick crawling on me, and I usually catch them crawling on me before they ever bite, just like that one. But that was number one. I might find another one crawling on me in a year. Otherwise, this just isn't a real ticky place. After cutting this much wood, I have one light out of 4 left. That's like a quarter tank. Actually, it's somewhere between 0 and a quarter. I don't know where. Let's cut another tree down. See how much I can get done on this battery. That is the end. On a single charge, I was able to cut this many rounds. The smallest one, about 7 inches diameter, and all of this. I cut these trees into firewood because they are too small for saw logs and or too crooked. How does this saw compare to this saw? It doesn't. But as Larry might say, you don't have to be head cashier at the Walmart to know that this saw is not going to be the same as that saw. Most people don't need a saw like that. A lot of times I don't need a saw like that. I've only cut these 3 small trees with this saw. There's a dead tree up here, just died, much bigger. I want to take that one down, put it on the sawmill. It's a much bigger tree. I want to try it with that before I give it a really good evaluation. But I'm not going to do that today because the sawmill is all plugged up with logs waiting to be milled. The drive belt went out on it. They sent me the wrong one. I'm waiting for them to send me the right one. I think the deer are happy about this situation. I don't want to cut any saw logs right now until I get those processed. We have some hot weather coming. I just don't want the saw logs sitting out cracking out in the heat. I'm going to have to wait a little while on that one, and I want to touch up this chain first. Factory cutting edges are not always the best. This one is no exception. Everything I cut today was cut on solar power. I charged the batteries up here using solar power. The guy who gave me the saw let me borrow his Jackery portable power station with solar panel to charge it. It's 120 watt solar power, but this Jackery power station is only accepting about half that. It charges the batteries, but it's not going to work fast enough, I think, to keep me going on one of these. I have my own 100 watt solar panel here at the sawmill. I use that to charge deep cycle batteries. That's what I use for charging my cell phones, my cameras, my laptop. You may not have known, but most of the videos on this channel are solar powered. I've been talking to the old jarhead who knows a lot about solar. I have some parts coming. I'm going to make my own solar power station, not just for charging this. It will be able to charge that. This property is off grid, and I have some other things coming up that I'm going to need some solar power. From what you saw here, what do you think of the performance of this saw? Let me know in the comments. I want to do some more with this saw before I give it a really good evaluation. I need to do more with the charging, keep track of how long it takes to charge, see how many batteries you would need on hand to keep that going all day. Obviously, it's not going to replace a saw like this. People who need a saw like that are not going to use a saw like this. What I've experienced today, I think this is a viable saw for a lot of things. I like this saw. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this saw? I still have the rest of this one to cut up. I could use the other saw and just let you see the difference. On a video like this, someone is inevitably going to say lithium batteries are worse for the environment because they have to mine the lithium, as if you were the only one who's ever heard that and the rest of us haven't heard that before. But do you really know that lithium batteries are worse for the environment than the petroleum industry? Or is that just something you've heard from the media outlet or whatever information outlet you subscribe to? Well, I don't know the answer to that. I know there are a lot of people who have an emotional resistance to battery-powered equipment because they are opposed to a lot of the politics that are promoting battery power, and in some cases trying to force it upon people. I'm not a huge fan of that myself, but I'm not here to get into the politics of it. I'm just trying to evaluate what I think might be a useful tool. And I think it's going to be hard for us to evaluate a tool when our minds are clouded with politics. And with that said, let's start up a big gas guzzling, petroleum eating machine and cut this up.